Well, many of us dream about the day that we'll hang up that suit and tie for good. But how prepared are you to actually make the transition into retirement? Back on this Monday is Ohio's retirement coach, Greg Taylor. Of course, we know Greg as the president of Legacy Retirement Group, also the host of Winning Retirement Radio. Always good to see you, Greg.
It's always great to be here, especially on a Monday like this.
After a Cavs big win,
Yeah.
excuse me, this is a great Monday to be here. All right, so let's talk, reality here. I guess we got to get back into the business. Will the cost of living decrease when I retire, Greg? You say this is one of the most common questions that you're going to get from folks.
It is, and it's also one of the most common myths that just because you retire, somehow people think, well, I'm going to spend 60% of what I spent when I was working, or 75% or 80%, I hear some pundits say. But what I find in talking with families as they come into our practice is that they have different things they want to do. And, while you're working, work takes up most of your time.
Right.
When you retire, now you have all this free time. Now, some of that time spent with family and grandchildren and volunteering and doing things that fulfill you in that way. But some of it is doing some fun things that you always promise yourself you're going to do. So what I say is expect to spend as much as you were spending prior to retirement and maybe a little more.
Okay, so it goes the other way. All right, common retirement question 2 is I've still got a mortgage payment every month. Can I consider retiring, or do I have to wait until I pay it off?
Well, understand having a mortgage, especially in this interest rate environment, isn't the worst thing in the world, but it is all about cash flow. Cash flow is king when you retire. So with that mortgage, will you have enough predictable income to maintain your standard of living, or do you have enough savings that can help generate some predictable income for you that will help you maintain throughout your lifetime? And as long as that answer is yes, go ahead and retire. And if you have a question about that, then you need to see someone that can help you create an income plan to see if you actually can retire.
Okay, smart advice. We are moving on to a 401k. All right, I'd like to roll mine over into an annuity. Is there a certain age requirement to do this?
Oh, fly's getting me.
Yeah, there's a fly
Yeah.
in here. It seems to be wanting to be a part of our discussion.
I know. Well, first of all, you have to understand whether or not an annuity is even appropriate. Because
Okay.
there's 3 worlds of money, and so you've got the banking world for liquidity, you've got insurance products like annuities for income, and then you have Wall Street for long-term growth. Well, whether or not you want to roll that 401k into an annuity is really dependent upon whether or not you're going to need income. So based on that, there's not an age in which you can do it, although a lot of companies, if you're still working, won't allow it until you retire or until you're past the age of 59 and a half.
Okay, makes sense. All right, Greg, question 4. My husband has a 401k at work. I'm a stay-at-home mom, though. I don't have an employer retirement account. What can I do to participate in our retirement savings plan?
Well, that's a great question, and we hear that often as well. But one of the things I really encourage folks to do is set up a Roth IRA, because you can contribute, if you're past 50, then you can contribute $6,500 per year into a Roth. You don't get a deduction when you put it in,
Okay.
but everything grows within tax-free. And as long as you've had it in place for 5 years and you're past the age of 59 and a half, now everything that comes out of that Roth is 100% tax-free.
Yeah, the word free after tax is always where
Yes.
we want to be, right?
So we really encourage that, because people need a good solid tax plan as part of their retirement, and having a Roth is a good start.
All right, Greg, I want to remind folks that Greg wants to hear from you. There's a new email address, questions@ohiosretirementcoach.com, where you can send Greg and Kristen your questions. They may answer it then here next Monday, maybe the Mondays after. We're trying to get
Yes.
people to, let us know what their concerns are.
We really do. We want to know what people are thinking and make sure that we're giving the information and the answers that people need.
All right, Greg, thanks as always. Greg, of course, sticking around. Kristen will join us to make sure that you are really ready to become an official retiree.